It's time.
What is it time for, man?
It's time for the new Sports. There he is, the two-headed Vic. Directed, produced by Victor Allen. Victor Allen's New Sports. That's why we call it that. We want to call it Bob Bay's New Sports, but we don't know any Bob Bays. So decided to call it Victor Allen's New Sports. Now, how you like that? Yeah,
that works, man.
Okay.
That works. I like that, man. You do great lead-ins. I just need me a female co-host so we can change the flavor up here. All right. Okay, you know what?
I ain't dressing up like Al either. So.
No, it's not happening.
That's
man.
right.
Hey, there's a quote they got out there, man. Mario says, Houston, we have a problem. And, I want you guys to understand that the green there is for a good reason. And the NCAA testing reveals triple rise in the usage of marijuana. Now, the quote, have the weed god smiled upon you today? Now.
They should have. And this is another reason to say F the NCAA.
I do.
Just another reason. Slave master assholes that they are.
Wait a minute.
Mario defaming us.
Right.
Yeah, hell yeah I am. Slave master asshole.
Now, see, I want you guys to understand what Mario's doing. He gets to have the advantage because it's his show. He goes, I don't have to wait for the setup.
They got the advantage because they got all the money. We have no money. This is the only area we have advantage, Vic, right here in this room.
That's it. So what Mario's saying, since we are kind of the rebellion and we're not going to follow the formula of having you guys get engaged in guessing game, we're saying there's going to be a relative story here that compares to prohibition back in the 20s and 30s.
That's right.
It's going to be the same. And I always have people sit there and on the other side of the fence that says this, they go like, they talk about marijuana and the whole thing. It says it's illegal. It's illegal. I said, so when it becomes legal, will you feel different? Because you're used to drinking alcohol.
Right.
And it was illegal the same way.
That's right.
And you accepted it. So if it's a moral standard, then don't drink the alcohol.
And alcohol, Dick, is still the number one drug associated with crime, injury.
That's right.
In the emergency room, they say, if you look at the things that are either complicated by alcohol or caused by alcohol, it sometimes makes up to 50% of the ER visits.
That's right. So you see, the whole point here is that, look, we know the NCAA is doing their study for whatever the reason is. I have to laugh because philosophically, I like to see when people jump the fence. When all of a sudden it says it's illegal, I said, so really, when it becomes legal, you'll have no problem, right? I said, so were you the guys who are still now fighting prohibition back in the days? And they're all gone. It's all to the wayside. And how many people do you see campaigning about no more drug development?
No more wine. The wine industry.
As it relates to it being in the alcohol.
That's right. Imagine wine. They celebrating the Chinese expanding in the wine, right? Right. We just did that story, right?
That's right.
Okay.
See, the part we're trying to say is that if the NCAA has a problem, then we're going to find out. We're going to find out what the real fear is. And the real fear is, well, I'm not going to tell you what the real fear is because how would I know? Okay, the fear is marijuana and some performance-enhancing drugs become more socially acceptable. So it's just not the marijuana. The NCAA is looking at the culture is going to be that they really become acceptable. Now, if they become acceptable and it is legal, will the NCAA turn face?
Well, they're going to have a problem. First of all, the culture is that steroids are already acceptable. Remember, we said that it's endemic within the pros.
Right.
And now we see it even in high school players, definitely in college, Vic.
Right.
But now you're seeing it even in high school players. And marijuana, I would argue, is not a performance-enhancing drug.
Right.
I think it actually would be one that would cause problems with your performance.
Right.
So it's going to be harmful to your performance, to me, in most instances.
Right.
So, no, I think they're going to have to figure out what they want to do. But I tell you, it's really not so much marijuana. It's the steroids. And beyond that, let me tell you, there's a big legal issue about the ability of you to drug test. And that's going to end up being fought, too.
Right.
In terms of a right to privacy.
Yeah.
Whether or not you have the actual right.
Yeah.
Or should even have the right to just test somebody.
Right.
That's going to really be tackled. And they've been able to get around it so far, but it's going to ultimately be tackled.
And you're right. I think the part, we can't avoid this right offhand is that, what should we truly fear between performance-enhancing drugs versus marijuana? I think you already kind of alluded to it by saying, the performance-enhancing drugs because it hasn't had what they call the actual focus, the studies, and if they're unbiased. I mean, the other part about it is that they truly believe that it has some detrimental side effects to it. But which one do you think the NCAA fears primarily? We know they don't like both.
Probably just marijuana because the PR. Because I can tell you right now that the number one recreational drug among young folks is alcohol. Mm-hmm. It's above and beyond. It's the number one recreational drug.
Right.
You don't hear all that. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you have all your deaths from drunk driving and all that, okay?
Right.
So, no. But it's really because it's a PR. It's really a PR issue. It's an image issue.
Right.
And that's what they're trying to deal with.
Right. Now, there's so many tentacles from this because I always believe they try to play catch up. And I said, if you want to look at the success of what may not work in your favor, NCAA, you haven't even got your hands wrapped around the drinking. Okay.
Right.
So
exactly.
So if you can't get your hands wrapped around that, and look, I'm an advocate for freedom of choice, and I want what's responsible and what's good, healthy, and all that. Yes, but when it comes down to choice, I just look at the parallel and go, alcohol is here, and I'm pretty sure you guys are on the front lines trying to protect the children.
They had some drinks and talked about it. They got together and had talked about over a few beers.
Okay. See, now this is the part we're going to try to figure out, because one thing I love about this particular issue, whenever I see stories like this, I know they're only talking between their own constituents. What year, moving forward, will you think, if you had to pick, that marijuana will become acceptable and legal? Before 2025 or after?
Oh, definitely before 2025. There's provisions being promoted damn near in every state,
right,
of the union.
Yes.
So it's a movement whose time has come.
The medical marijuana is the locomotive that's pushing a lot of the message.
That's pushing it, and ultimately, though, it's the decriminalization.
Right. Even though they don't have that as their front-loaded bullet.
No, it's really that medical marijuana is the impetus that they've used to ride that horse in.
Right. Even
though, as we know, a lot of the folks using it are not using it for medical reasons. But on the other hand, one could argue that stress, day-to-day living stress, those things are legitimate things that, you think about all that child support.
See, this is wrong.
That alimony.
Look, I want you guys to know.
Listen to you, the teachers and your old lady incessantly complain.
Right.
Those are reasons that'll make you want a substance. And
right.
We think marijuana is better than the beer.
Right. And here's the part. We're not saying go out and commit illegal acts.
Never.
And we're not endorsing your children or anything like that. What we're saying is you can sit there and protect your own children. That's your own responsibility. And even if it's legal, doesn't make it right and good for you. We take pharmaceuticals all day long that have side effects that it's acceptable, that 60% of it's supposed to work for you, while 40% is working against you, and it's legal. So it all depends on your perspective.
Only dope. Only dopes use dope.
See, this is cold. Hey, I want you guys to know we're serious. It may look like we're joking,
only dopes.
But we're serious about this. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I sit there and say, it's a matter as time is coming. We're not even talking about will they legalize it. We're saying
when.
Right. It's happening.
Right.
All right, good. Now I have to go into a sports subject because we covered Serena Williams yesterday, man, because we know
this is the dress that I saw, Vic. This is a different dress. This is the dress that I saw.
Right.
It's a different dress than the one that we showed yesterday.
And that was on Serena. This is on Venus.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that was the issue.
Yeah.
And now, not that we're so much into fashion,
right?
But let's face it, we love to watch what the Williams girls wear because they have some bodacious booty pics.
Wait a minute, let me help those.
I love the sisters. They built, the brothers. We go ooh,
But you know what? I'm gonna help you guys. Bodacious, it has different meanings.
That's right.
In the Philippines, it may mean one thing. In Leimert Park, it's something else.
I don't know what it means in the Philippines. I don't know.
All right. Bodacious is a statement of love, just so you know that.
Is.
And it usually means the opposite of small.
It means
large and in charge.
It means I would kiss it.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Kiss your bodacious whatever.
Okay. All right, you guys. I know you guys already know that Venus did her thing because, they're 8 hours ahead, I guess. And so a lot of the reports come in. But, the story was, man, that the competition with this young lady named Kamiko date-krumm, man, she was 40 years old, coming out of a 3-year hiatus and really took Venus to the mat. And when I say 40 years old, until they said it, I didn't even recognize it. Now, Mario, how much credit would you give to someone who's playing up against what they would call, what we say is the Williams sisters? If they're playing and focused on their tennis game, they are the best, bar none. But they have multiple interests outside of tennis. How much credit should you give to somebody at 40?
I think you still give them credit because they made it to Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Granted, there's different levels of seeds, and we're always talking about the top seeded people, okay?
Right.
But, this means at least you're usually like in the top 16 in the world.
That's right.
That's still the whole world. That means in your country,
right,
you may be the best in your country or the top 2 in your country.
Right.
And just to even go there. So imagine that you're the top 2 player, number 2 player in France or Germany.
Right.
So that's still hot as hell,
It's very good.
So I think that anyone there is still good. But mostly I applaud her because going through all the problems she had with her health and struggling too, and also with the whole thing we talked about of getting older, anyone,
right,
and having to deal with other interests that become more and more evident in your life, like, having children,
right,
love, family, those things.
Right.
So I still applaud it, Vic. I thought it was wonderful. She cried.
No, you're talking about Serena. This is, we're talking about Venus. But you're
okay.
No, because we covered both stories yesterday for a good reason. And I think they both share what you're talking about, Mark.
Right.
I think they both are looking at life.
Well, they're both twins, so,
right,
so they're probably the same age.
Well, they look.
Most twins are.
Okay. There's a factor here of tall versus. You're so wrong, dude. Don't say it. I want you to keep this in good perspective. The good perspective is that they're both back. Now, I'm gonna compare what I saw yesterday and from Venus today. I have to admit, you can see that they have a conditioning concern. Now, maybe
as they're
early.
getting older, yes, too. Now, and they are about how many years apart, Vic?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. I thought they were 2. I thought they were 2 or 3 years apart.
At most, I think.
Yeah, at most.
Yeah.
But there is a thing. Okay, with all of us, right?
Yeah.
With all athletes, we talk about this male and female too.
Right.
Especially when you get that good money.
Of course.
With the conditioning, right, Vic? Because you tend not to work as hard.
Yes. There's a reason why you don't.
You're
really,
living too good.
Well, and let me say this. I'll say this. It's just, to me, I think it's really, I have to applaud anyone who goes it's kind of like what Sportz did, Mario, when we actually were saying, the day when Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders and all these cats got in what they got professional sports and 2 different sports, how hard that is.
Right.
Well, even if you're not doing it, and Venus and Serena are involved in other things, other empire interests, because somebody said, look, you don't know if the gift you have may be taken away and how long. So they have other interests. I don't look at it as penalizing them because if they focused all on tennis. I say, well, wonder if an injury focuses all on you. So it's a little bit different here. I do say this. Moving forward with Wimbledon, I think there's some scenarios that we all have to answer. What would we prefer to see? Would you prefer to see a final with the Williams sisters? Would you prefer to see Venus and or Serena go against an underdog in the final? Or would you rather just see the number 2 ranked in the final? What would you prefer
just
to see?
the number 1 or 2, Vic. I just want to see where they come out.
Okay.
I like the sport. The whole point is, to me, you don't need to win everything.
Right.
Nor should you.
Right.
And so that's why I like to see where you come out. It's a test of your comeback, your ability to respond to the challenges.
Right.
So, no, I'd rather just let it be the number 1 versus the number 2.
Okay.
Whoever earns it.
Right. And here's the thing, and I agree with you. I think like in any sport, a reason why we don't have the following in other sports is because sometimes they just don't have the faces, the character, the personification, the image. All those things are lacking in many other sports, although they may thrive with their own community and culture. And I'll say this. Hockey, you can say it all day long. If you place how much it takes between boxing, hockey, and what they have to go through, the flying puck, losing teeth, they free fall fights, skating, conditioning, and everything, that's it. But they lack an impact.
They do need that. They need a public face. Like Wayne Gretzky was one of the last ones they really had.
That's 25, 30 years ago.
And he was a wonderful ambassador. Right. Every sport needs an ambassador. Right. Okay? Every sport. Right. Golf, boxing. Right. They all need an ambassador or ambassadors who sell the sport that make people interested in it. Right. Beckham did it for soccer, right? That's right. And some other ones did it when no one else cared. Then they came along and did certain things, and now people care. Yeah. It's happening with the women in sports all over the place.
Yeah. And for me, I have to admit, look, I would love to see the number 1 and number 2. But it makes for a better story if a number 1 or number 2 is going against one of the Williams sisters, at least one. I think you just get mobilized, a lot more media, a lot more success, a lot more following. The one thing I like about what Venus and Serena's going through, you can hate to love them or love to hate them or love to love or hate to hate. Meaning that don't
wait
a minute. This one.
I say it again. There's a lot of choices. I got to hate to love to love, hate to love. Love to hate.
Wait a minute, man.
Hate to love, love to hate.
You know, I'm going to tell you why. Let me tell you why.
There's 4 combinations there.
Wait, it's a whole bunch because I believe people like this. They go like this. They love to see a comeback story like Lance Armstrong, who's going through something later, of course, where he's fighting to win, but he was fighting for his life, and he's a champion to win. And then you see how things are turned on you all of a sudden. So all of a sudden, people may rally from a different position. They go, well, because he fought against cancer, we still want him to win. It's a bigger story than the failure because he used steroids. So I think people have these stories where they go, well, you know, I like Serena now because she really went through a health crisis, so I want to cheer for her. Now, when she was dominating everybody would complain, traditional media, about what she's wearing, being a little bit too risque and everything. I said, you love to hate, but you needed to love her. Why? Media has to follow something they love or give the fan base that. So I'm only saying that right now, I think you need a Williams sister in the final, at least. That's just me.
Well, it'll make a difference in the press. Right. And it makes a difference in how many people are going to tune in and watch. That's like having Tiger Woods, right? Right. It's the same phenomenon. Right. It really is. It's having a visible figure. Right. That really causes people to come in there.
Right. And look, we live in an age where you are compared against people who have long been out of the sport or passed on to the next level. If you take Tupac, everybody will always compare the current rappers against Tupac as legacy. If you look at Tiger Woods, even when he's injured, they're going to compare him. Michael Jordan, they're going to compare him. It's when you have that afterlife impact where you go like, the comparison is here. And I think that's what some of the sports are lacking. You don't even see Gretzky compared to as it relates to current players because it's been so long ago. So they need somebody else to compare it to, and it works for them.
They sure do. And I tell you, I think the best example of who's doing it right now, NASCAR. Yeah. They've been able to take people who were relatively obscure.
That's right.
And bring them to the national platform to be noticed as names. Right. As names. And they're NASCAR drivers.
Right. And what did it? New. When you let the young folks in, the young energy, they bring personification, energy, and I hate to say this, y'all, I feel bad I'm not endorsing this. They bring the fighting competitiveness. They're not trying to always be what they call correct. So they bring this image of the bad boy. I love it.
The inherent asshole qualities that come with being youthful.
I love it, man. That's the way it's supposed to. Mario, what do you like? A nice girl or a bad nice girl? Don't lie. Don't lie here.
How about a nice bad girl? It's got to be a bad, nice. Okay, no.
It's got to be bad in there, right?
No, I want a bad, nice girl.
Okay.
Or what if a bad, nice girl is better than a nice, bad girl?
You're spending too much time.
It's a little hard. I'm trying to understand. But yes. Yes, Vic. I want that.
See, okay. I got to go on this. This is terrible. I know we are bad. I'm sorry. Don't watch me. All right. Do you believe? We got to go into do you believe, man, because I always say the mic and the camera's always in front of you. And when it is, you have to say something. Now, I don't know what this picture is saying, but I know the mics and camera is in front of them. And I want to know, do you believe high school preps engage far more in steroid performance enhancing and marijuana usage versus the college university programs?
No, not more. They use more in college, but they use an amazing amount in high school. Okay. First of all, even the prevalence of drug use, which has gone down somewhat.
Right.
Okay, in high school.
Okay.
But it's just fairly prevalent.
Okay. It's not, if you had to sit there and say the impact is that it may be getting better because of information, or
it's not getting better.
See, that's what
I mean, okay, to play this. No. The overall drug use statistics drop some, and so I guess that sense is better, but that could be just a temporary blip.
Right.
To me, you need to see a sustained trend.
Right.
And you don't have that right now. In general, in our society, there's more drug use.
Okay. All right, good. Here's a question that we already addressed, but I'm going to go ahead and it's rhetorical, I guess, for Mario and I. We already said it. It says, do you believe the legalization of marijuana will occur before the year 2025? And Mario said yes.
Yes.
But the caveat to this, is what year? At most, in your mind, in your opinion, what year? If not 2025, when do you think?
2018.
2018? Wow, man, 6 years from now. A little over 6 years.
Yes.
Wow, that's, hey, you guys heard it. For all you guys who, right now, you may want to hold on to your bad ways. Wait a minute, wait.
Or move to California.
Wait a minute, they said, you
simply move to California.
You may make peace with your bad deeds and hold on to 2018.
Just come to California.
Okay. All right. Let's go over to our last Do You Believe? Do you believe the San Antonio Spurs is on the table? And I'll tell which San Antonio Spurs is on the table for a trade with bottom-dwelling Sacramento Kings. Which one do you believe, Mario?
I have no idea.
I know. I got to get
Tim Duncan.
You're getting close, though, man. You're getting close.
Who else is there?
Well, because you're starting with the big man.
Okay, how about the little man, Tony Parker?
That's the man.
See, I know I can do it.
See,
wow.
How many guesses
what do
did
I
it
win?
take? See, he had
year supply of penicillin.
And I guarantee you, he did not know this information in advance. Good, man, on your second choice. And along with Sacramento, I forgot the other team, but yes, they're opening up the talks. Toronto. They're trying to put on the table maybe a 5th and 7th seed choice in the draft. And Toronto,
didn't they fall off the map? I mean, they actually fell off the NBA map somehow. I actually forgot. What division are they in, even?
Okay, they're in the Eastern Division, man.
Toronto, I mean, come on, they fell off the map. Chris Bosh, they had my man Carter.
Yeah.
After that, who is even on Toronto?
Oh, well, I tell you what, you make a good point. Isn't it a shame that you don't know, but Cleveland had a worse record?
That's true. You're right. You're right. And
babe. With people you know.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
See, it's hard.
And I can't even think who's on the Raptors. Who is? See, for I couldn't think of the name. That shows you how bad it's gotten with Toronto. And Toronto, we love Canada.
Right.
We love Canada.
I know.
They have wonderful. That was their first riot, you guys. They don't really riot like that. They're so ashamed. They had 8,000 citizens came out to clean up the street. They were so embarrassed. They came out of their homes to clean up.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great city. No one's saying that it's not. It's just that, unfortunately, they don't have the name recognition of players. And everybody knows this. If you're in the NBA, it's like Minnesota right now is happy because Ricky Rubio, finally, a draft pick that they selected who went away back to Europe to play and coming back, he was treated like, remember Tony Kukoc from the Chicago Bulls?
Yes.
He's being treated the same way before he even played anything. So they have this cheering section meeting him at the airport. Now, this is Minnesota. How often do we put Minnesota Timberwolves in the news? And even with their boy, the big man, who was doing the 2020s, 20 points, 20 rebounds, Kevin Love from UCLA, how much of that impact took them to where they needed to be? Now, it's a lot of pressure on this cat, man.
That sure is. It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. So, hey, just want to let you guys know that for the most part, Tony, once you see the San Antonio Spurs making this move, flag everybody. You older teams, y'all better make moves soon.
Everybody got to make some moves. We talked about it.
Yeah, I'm done, man, with my new sports.
Everybody. Yeah. That's Victor Allen's new sports. That's right. There's a two-headed Vic. That's right. Too bad we didn't have a sports bra for you today. One day we're going to have one. I'm going to get one. I'm working overtime. Get you that sports bra.
Wrong.
Because we know the value.
Yes, sir.
Of things like the sports bra.
Yeah, we're enjoying it.